Hello and welcome to another episode of On The Topic. And this week we are with another Southsea Creative. But before that, I'm Alex.
And we're coming to you from the only island city in the UK. I'm Dan.
And this week we're going to speak to Peter. So hi Peter, welcome to On The Topic on the sofa here on the South Coast.
Hello.
How are you and what have you been doing the last year?
Good question. You got a couple of hours. Yeah, I'm very well, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's the last year's been interesting, sort of coming out of education where I was for 30 years.
Yeah.
And sort of embarking on something that I did expect and then on something I didn't expect. So, yeah, it's been quite a year, really. And on top of that, obviously, COVID and everything else that we've had to cope with.
Yeah, because we caught up, didn't we? I think we were talking just off air about how we had a brief chat. Was it September, October? And
yeah,
I think it was. It's relatively recent that you've taken over from AboutMyArea, which we'll talk about in a second. And there's this exciting plan. So it's good to catch up after a couple of months and see that it's still going strong and there's still lots of plans. So it's really exciting stuff. And I guess to that end, you guys have been keeping busy with the different platforms. I mean, you had AboutMyArea, but you then subsequently, was it launched Island City Living? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We took over AboutMyArea at the start of September. And one of the things that sort of excited us really was that potential for developing it. Hayley, the previous owner, had already built up a really strong and quite significant following through the website and through the Facebook page. But we felt there was room to sort of grow that audience through sort of wider social media output and also potentially through a mobile app. And that's why we really introduced the Island City Living brand. Because we wanted to deliver that under a slightly different name, so that it felt new and it felt fresh. So that's what we've been doing really. We've been developing the Island City Living side of things, restructuring the website and thinking about how we can improve that going forwards. And the other big thing that we've been working on is the mobile app. So yeah, we've been busy, even though it's been fairly quiet in terms of covering events, which is really what is the mainstay of the website of my area. We've kept busy because it's given us time to focus on developing the other aspects and also really having a proper development plan for the website. No,
sure. And it's good to hear that you guys have got plenty of plans afoot. And in the unlikely event that any of our listeners haven't perhaps come across AboutMyArea or Island City Living, do you want to give a bit of an overview of both? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. AboutMyArea is certainly much better known, I would imagine, across Portsmouth. That's been running since 2005, so it's actually been part of sort of Portsmouth culture for quite a while now.
Oh wow!
So over that 15 years, Hayley built that up, and it's really it's a website. It's a sort of one-stop shop really for anything related to Portsmouth. So it's news, information, events coverage. We have quite a comprehensive business directory on there. People can contribute to the site. We put out sort of daily news that we get from around the city. We write our own content. There's a space there for people to post pictures and things from bygone days. And we've got a section for business. So it's quite a sort of wide-ranging website. Yeah. And I think because of that, Hayley managed to build up a really strong following. So the website gets usually between 15 and 20,000 visitors a week. And that equates to over 50,000 visits. So it's a really popular website. People seem to enjoy using it and they dip into lots of different things. They obviously go and look at the daily news stories, but then they might have a wander around and have a look at some of the other sections as well. So it's really sort of, I suppose, a service for the community of Portsmouth and for the residents of Portsmouth. And obviously, it's also a business, so we get revenue from selling advertising space. So down the sides of the website, you'll see banner ads for local companies. So that's how we sort of sustain what we do, really. And then we thought, as I mentioned earlier, that we could expand and grow that audience by introducing social media. So Island City Living came into being at the beginning of November, and that now covers our 4 social media platforms. So we've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And we've now got over 30,000 followers across those 4 platforms. So again, hugely popular, and we've grown that by about 2,500 since we launched Island City Living. And Island City Living will also be the name of the app when that launches at the end of March. And the app will do a similar kind of thing. What we're really trying to do with the app, again, is create that one-stop shop and curate as much information as we possibly can about what's going on in the city. So not just news, but I think, as I said earlier, also have a section for businesses. We obviously we created a space also for local podcasts, which you guys are part of, and I think we've got 7 or 8 podcasts now listed in there, and we've got a couple more coming on board soon. So we want to really be a sort of signpost for all the good things that are happening. There are so many things happening in the city, even during lockdown. But people sometimes find it difficult to find because there are so many different things happening. If we can bring all of those under one umbrella and promote what other people are doing and make it easier for people to find that information, and that's really the aim of the app. So it will have the same kind of news content as the website. So it will draw news from About My Area. And again, we'll be able to signpost people to community information, news, podcasts, events, calendar, etc. And it will also have quite a comprehensive business directory on there. So again, we'll be able to offer businesses promotion of their goods and services, but give them something different. So they'll be able to use things like push notifications and offer coupons and loyalty programs and have really nice listings on there. So it's really to take the Island City Living is really to take About My Area to the next level, I guess. But work together in providing as much information and connecting as many people across the city as possible.
And I think that's one of the things I guess I admire the most, Peter, for me, because when we had a conversation with Solent Sky Services, the aerial drone surveying guys, and we had a brilliant conversation down there a couple of weeks ago, and they said that the reason why they did their documentary, which you can find on YouTube, was because they wanted to tell the story of people from Portsmouth, Portmudians, for want of a better term, about what they were doing in lockdown, because there was such good stuff going on, but we're all locked in behind our our front doors and stuck in our living rooms and couldn't go out. So I think a hub, for want of a better term, where you can connect people and you can share those stories, I think is so powerful. Not just now, but I think more broadly when we find it difficult to find this information. It's such a dense city and there's so much going on. It's very difficult to be able to find those little snippets of creativity when there's so much noise. And the noise is a good thing, right? Because there's lots of different creatives in Portsmouth. I include yourself in that as well as you'd also. But it's so difficult to tell those stories. So I'm a massive advocate for another platform that helps just to quieten that noise and to bring those people to the forefront.
Yeah, I guess it's sort of bringing that noise together really and putting it in one place so it's not as noisy. And it's much easier to find the bits of the noise that you really want to listen to. It's difficult when everything is sort of separate to find what really resonates with you as an individual, and what one person likes, another person might not like. So, that in our podcast section, we've got 6 or 7 very different podcasts, but hopefully there's something in there for everyone that they can find. So it's trying to bring that together and bring all those good things together and all those good stories together. And you're right. I mean, the documentary that Solent Sky Services did, Mike and his team there was amazing. when you saw what was going on and the stories that people had to tell. And that's another exciting potential development is to work with people like So and Sky on delivering some sort of video news content as well. Getting out there and doing some sort of live streams and live news. We've talked about the potential of that with people like Mike. And that'd be really exciting because again, we don't have anything that local. Obviously, you've got the sort of the regional news, but we don't have anything that's really sort of hyper local at the moment in terms of video. So that's another exciting area. Once we've got established with the app and things have embedded, is to start looking at doing something like that. It'd be great to offer that to the people of Portsmouth as well.
I think that's really cool because I don't think people quite realise how closely connected we are on Portsmouth. Like we're sort of quite well networked, but say there's a lot of noise. But I suppose my question to you, Peter, would be is how are you looking for About My Area and Island City Living to complement each other?
Well, they do very much. I think what we wanted to do, obviously we had the website and we had Facebook, and they tended to sort of have, I suppose, similar following and a similar audience in terms of demographic and age group, etc. And what we wanted to do with social media, with Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn, was reach different audiences. So really, the Island City Living was created to really complement and build on what About My Area was already doing and try and replicate that success with different audiences. So we know that through Instagram, we've got a very different audience and what we do on Instagram is very different to what we do on Facebook because people, again, access information in different ways and use different platforms. And, I admit that sort of I'm much more familiar with Facebook and Twitter and my daughter's much more au fait with Instagram. So I leave her to run that and I sort of focus on the Twitter and Facebook because it's a very different medium. It's a very different way of conveying information and engaging with people. We've had some really nice sort of photo campaigns through Instagram that have got real involvement from the local community, and we wanted to create that opportunity for for people to generate content that would become part of our output. And photographs, it's such a great way of doing it. So we have a photograph gallery on our website every week, but then we also run photo campaigns on Instagram. They're two very different things, and we get different kinds of contributions from very different people. So it's trying to reach out to different audiences and different people through the social media. So we really saw Island City Living as being a sort of an evolution, I suppose, of About My Area, taking it to that next level.
Yeah, sure. I mean, just looking at the Instagram page, I'm looking at it right now. It's so visual, and it sort of has its own. It's got its own character. It's quite nice. You sort of draw in on a lot of the local talent with the photographers. I mean, I haven't done photography for a while, but I sort of know a few of the names in there, and it's always quite nice. Sort of these people popping up. It's nice.
Yeah, well, again, it's so easy now with mobile phones with amazing cameras on to really capture great images, and people want to share them, and people like looking at what other people have done. And we're very fortunate where we live that there's so much potential to capture really good photographs. I think I've seen more sunsets of Portsmouth over the last couple of months than I've ever seen before. But it's great because people capture such amazing images. And we have lots of local amateur photographers. So on the website, we do our weekly gallery and we ask for people to contribute through Facebook and Twitter. And we get sort of probably 30 to 40 photographs every week. And then we choose one each month and they receive a much coveted Island City Living mug. So, it's nice that we can do that and celebrate all of the photographs, but also pick the one that we think. And it's really tough, actually, because we get so many incredible photographs. Really engaging. We want it to be interactive, and we want people to contribute to it. So, we've got people like Leah Holford, who's written stories for us. She's done. We're about to sort of put it out tomorrow. A great video interview as well with a local author. We've got local students from the university writing for us. We've created a space for them on the website. So yeah, it's really sort of getting people to engage with us and create content.
And just on that, Peter, I mean, I vaguely recall. I've slept a couple of times since then when we spoke in the autumn about the role that students might play or how the app could kind of service their needs. Is that an aspect you're still thinking about? I know it's an interesting time. It may not be, I guess, a priority at the moment, but is that something you still got an eye on?
Yeah, very much so. You know, we've got a student population of 24,000. So, you know, we'd be foolish to ignore that. You know, and they're very much now part of Portsmouth culture. They contribute in lots and lots of different ways, and that those numbers are only going to grow. You've seen the amount of student accommodation that over the last few years. But it's great, you know. It's a gold standard university now, Portsmouth. It's highly regarded, and they have some great courses, and you know those students come and spend 3-4 years in the city, so we should celebrate that and embrace that community. So we've got really close links with their School of Journalism, and we've had 3 work experience students with us since just before Christmas, third-year students, and that's given them an opportunity to write and find an audience and sort of develop their skills as writers and journalists. And we want to continue with that. So we want to create student-specific content, but also, again, through the app and through our directories, signpost students to the local businesses that offer student discounts and, you know, generate interest in local businesses through that. You know, if you're new to the city, it'd be great to download the Island City Living app and find the best places to go and eat and drink and watch music and theatre, etc. So again, if we can provide that, but also get the students involved in terms of content and contributing, then it creates, you know, they're part of it then, rather than just sort of passively using the app. We want to be part of the Island City Living About My Area community.
And I must say, it's been some time now since I myself were studying in Portsmouth, but I think I missed that kind of cohesive source of information. You know, you come to, for most people, a new city. You may have researched a bit about it, but hopefully primarily what are the best pubs, and then what course am I taking? You're not really going to know anything more than that. So I think to have something which can help to kind of orienteer people, for want of a better term, I think is great, because, you know, I definitely would have appreciated it, you know, a good about 10, 15 years ago now. And I know that there's definitely something required and needed for someone who, you know, steps foot on the island and only knows their halls of residence. I think it's a great way to get them involved.
Yeah, we hope that sort of really get. Obviously, this year's been difficult, but we'd love to be there in sort of September, October as part of that orientation when the students arrive in the city and say, look, you know, you can download our app and it'll help you get to know the city, and it'll be a great thing for our local businesses, because hopefully it will give them footfall and. You know, students come with income, and they want to spend that income in the city. And you know, we've got great restaurants and bars and cultural places for the students to visit as well. So if we can connect those, you know, and again, it comes back to connecting people. And I think more and more, and especially over lockdowns, people are using digital more and more to find out information and to connect with each other. So I think, you know, it's building on that greater familiarity, I think, now that all people have with technology and digital platforms, because we've been forced into it, really. But I think now that that's established, then we can really build on that and help people use it and find out more information.
Go on, Dan. I could hear your question.
I was saying it's nice to see people using technology in a more positive way. So I always look at I look at social media all the time, and sometimes it's so easy just to doom scroll. You sort of go through all the negative stuff, but when you see the positive stuff, it's good. It's nice. It makes you feel great to see all this positive content, and I think that's why I enjoy seeing things coming from our Portsmouth creatives.
Yeah,
and there are some good stuff. I mean, and to that, Peter. So we talked about people in the city. We talked about people studying the city. Would any of the platforms that you look after and you curate, would any of those be so which anyone from who's thinking of visiting Portsmouth might be able to digest or to download or to read up on? Would there be an audience for them at all to signpost what a great city we live in?
Yeah, well, again, I suppose out of all the potential areas for growth and development, our sort of tourist sector is the biggest. We get over 9 million visitors a year to the city. If we could tap into just a fraction of those as they come into the city, they could download the app. And again, we've created within the app an area for visitors. And again, to signpost them to all the sort of historical and cultural places of interest. And again, we're blessed in Portsmouth with some amazing museums and places to see and places of interest, great shopping areas, obviously the coastline, hotels. There are so many places that we can signpost people to, again, when they come into the city. So if they can download the app and have a look at what's happening that particular week, because there'll be an updated events calendar, again, where there might be special offers on to go and eat and drink, then that's the one area that we feel there is massive potential in. I know the Portsmouth City Council this week have sort of announced a new initiative to reignite that whole tourism market.
I've seen that.
As we come out of lockdown, and it's great, with the Freeport announcement, with sort of greater access for cruise liners into the city, the potential for that tourist sector to grow is significant. So again, if we can tap into that and say, well, hey, if you come into the city, download the app, it will help you while you're here, while you're visiting. It will be great to do that. Obviously, it's making people aware. That's the challenge that we face ahead, is how we promote it and how we get people to know about it. And I think, again, that's really then dependent on the relationships that we develop with other organisations, with the City Council, with Shaping Portsmouth, with the university. They can all help with that, and we've developed some really good relationships with them over the past 3 or 4 months. So we're hopeful that is something that will, in time, really start to grow.
If I reflect on what you're saying there, Peter, about what's on the city, I found myself during the summer months, there wasn't an awful lot to do other than walk, but it was still interesting to know whether or not there was something particularly going on that was outside based, or in previous years, there's always been the kite festival, which if you're not a particular fan of kites, that's fine, but just the pure spectacle of it is great to go down to the common and see. When is that on? And then when is the food festival on? And it's very difficult to find these unless you're very specific and know what you're looking for. There's not that natural conduit. And I think something like what you're describing would be really helpful, not just for residents, of course, for people visiting, but to really know where to spend their time and what's coming up, because that's, I think, a real problem that I haven't seen fixed so far. And I do have the lofty hopes of your apps that will hopefully fill that gap, because I legitimately don't know what's going on. And you always find, don't you, Peter and Dan, you always hear after the fact, you see some photos of this event that you always wanted to go to, but you didn't hear about it and it was too late. Because you guys have covered it, and it's just a shame that we don't have that. So I'm really looking forward to something like that from your platform. With
AboutMyArea, the website has always, and Hayley always used to sort of keep that very well populated, an events calendar, and did cover a lot of events. But again, if we can replicate that on the app as well. I think, again, it's just sort of celebrating all the good things that go on, over the spring and summer. Every other weekend there's something going on, or every weekend there's something significant going on, even if it's a sort of the regular bandstand concerts or the car boot sales down on the Common. But then you say like the Kite Festival and the food festivals, Victorious, of course, all the theatre events that are going on, Portsmouth festivities. You know, we do see quite a lot happening in the city, and we're sort of really itching now to get out and start covering those events, because the only event we've gone out and covered so far was the pantomime at the King's Theatre, which was brilliant. You know, it was great to go out there, watch it, and then report on it. Other than that, we've not really enjoyed that aspect of About My Area and what we've taken on. So we've been incredibly busy anyway. So we're only going to get more busy when activities start to happen. But again, at that point, that's when we hope members of the community will say, well, you know, we're going to such a place, we can do a little write-up for you for that. And that would be great. You know, it'd be great to get sort of people from the community contributing to the website and to the app. So it becomes a truly community-based and community-driven platform.
I suppose my question to you, Peter, about you sort of looking at how busy you are. Are you looking to sort of maybe grow your team around the app, and sort of what would you need cover for?
I think, I mean, it's been great at the moment, because my daughter Hope is a big part of what we're doing, but she's not going to be here forever. You know, she graduated last year, and she's currently looking at sort of, as we come out of lockdown, what she does next. But she's sort of really interested in media and journalism and music and culture. So that's where she'll probably head off to. So at that point, we do hope that once we get busy, we will have a little team of volunteers, but also that we might then be looking to create one or two jobs, which would be fantastic. You know, if we could get to the stage where we were providing some level of employment, that'd be amazing. But we will need to do something, because we are going to get busy, and just what we're doing now is keeping us fairly busy. I think in the last sort of 48 hours, we've put about 18 new stories up on the website. Now, each one of those takes time, because we have to sort of get the press releases, edit them, upload them. Our website is brilliant, but it's 15 years old, so uploading anything is quite a chore. The back end of our website is something to behold. So, you know, all those things take time. And at the same time, we're trying to generate content as well. Again, going back to Hope, she's written a superb series of stories titled Tales from the City. So I think she's interviewed now about 14, 15 local people, all of whom are doing something creative, something innovative, something that makes a difference to the lives of others, you know, who have a story to tell, but maybe wouldn't normally have a voice. And, you know, if people haven't dipped into those yet, please do. There's some great interviews in there, and some really interesting and inspirational people that we've spoken to. So, you know, we want to do more of that. We want to generate our own content, as well as obviously putting out stuff that we get from press releases. So, the long answer of giving you the short answer really is yes, we would love to be able to employ people and work with us,
And sort of talking about the people in the city, I mean, me and Alex always sort of have an idea of people we want to sort of try and get on the show. I mean, I'm sort of quite keen to get the guys from Stag Really Good on here, and we're looking at getting Brad from Strong Island Recordings on the show. Brilliant. But is there anyone in particular that you're looking forward to collaborating with or working with that sort of might sort of help you push your brand a bit further?
Well, I think, as I say, you know, one of the exciting things was talking about video, and we did have some very preliminary talks with Mike down at Soul and Sky, and I think there's great potential there for collaboration. But we're just enjoying at the moment working with lots of different organisations, lots of different businesses, individuals. And I think we've only scratched the surface. You know, there's a lot more to be done. We are limited because we're basically stuck in the office at the moment. So we've got a plan as soon as things open up to really get out there and go and meet more people. So anyone and everyone really, there's a lot more to be done yet, and a lot more people to engage with. But you know, it's what we found really sort of refreshing and inspirational is just people who are doing sort of fairly simple things, but making a big difference. You know, it's as I say, some great stories in there of people who are, you know, going above and beyond and really trying to do things that they believe in and have value in. I think those are the people that we really connect with, and you know, who want to make a difference. And you know, people like yourselves and the other podcast people that we've spoken to. It's great. You know, we had a chat with Darren Gamblin on Express FM yesterday, and we just found there's a real desire to support across the city, and I think that's been made stronger through lockdown. So yeah, we're just looking forward to collaborating with as many people as possible, really, and developing those relationships as much as we can.
I'm excited to see what you and Mike will put together, because I found Mike quite a fascinating character. And he's so creative. He's always switched on. He's always thinking ahead.
Amazing.
I think he's much like me from what his wife was saying, that, you know, he doesn't rest. Like, if he's doing something, he can't stop until it's done.
Yeah, no, we had some really exciting conversations, I suppose, just before the latest lockdown. Obviously, things have inevitably gone a bit quiet, but yeah, there's enormous potential for people like Mike, like ourselves, and other people who are doing creative things across the city to collaborate and tell those stories in different ways. Not just print, but not just sort of digital print, but using video and images that we have. But what we're seeing more of now is people producing these incredible drone shots. Not just Mike, there are other people doing it across the city as well, and there's enormous potential in that, you know, to bring more of that kind of content to the fore.
So Peter, in terms of the app then, so we're on the cusp of a release. It's going to be out into the wild soon. What platforms have you guys developed for? Is it just iOS, or is it Android as well?
Android and iOS, yeah. So it'll be downloadable on most phones. We've worked with a great company, a local company called Empire Digital. They've done an amazing job in sort of really developing the different aspects of the app, especially the business directory, which is really fantastic. So it'll be available on both, and we're going to have posters up all around the city from the 29th of March. We're just in the process of finishing a video that's going to be playing in the Guildhall Square for a couple of weeks.
Oh, great.
We're doing things like this, and we're on Express FM yesterday to try and sort of promote what we're doing. And obviously we can do that across our own platforms as well. Just to try and get as many people to download it, have a go, feedback, you know, what they like, what they don't like, what we could do better. You know, we see this as a sort of constantly evolving thing. It won't be fully formed when it's launched. It will be fully formed as things open up. Yeah, you know, I think a lot of the local businesses, especially that will enjoy the app, are the ones that are currently not open. You know, our local sort of hospitality providers and theatres and hotels and things like that the app is ideal for. So we've got a lot of really good companies involved already. So we've got our sort of featured partners. So we've got 10 featured partners who will sort of have, you know, top billing on the app when people download it. But then we'll have, you know, over 700 other businesses listed in the directory. And we hope to get a lot more. I think there are 6,000 or 7,000 businesses in Portsmouth. So that's our target, to get as many of those as possible, really, you know, on there to promote what they're doing. But as I say, you know, I think it will really become vibrant as things open up. And that's why we've delayed the launch really from before Christmas when it was ready. To now, when things are starting to feel a bit more positive, and things will be opening up from next month, and hopefully sort of ride on that wave of optimism and late, you know, spring and summer and events taking place again.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to see Victorious back this year.
Yeah,
amazing. Can't wait to hear the booming music across Portsmouth.
Oh, can't wait, and we're looking forward to it this year because hopefully we'll cover it as well for About My Area and Island City Living. So we'll have a double interest in it. We've always gone. We've always gone since it was in the dockyard. We're big music fans, so to not have it last year, so we've still got our tickets from last year. We've kept on to those, and the thought of that happening at the end of August is just brilliant, really good.
It's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
And if one of our listeners are perhaps one of those 6,000 or 7,000 businesses on the island, or perhaps if anyone downloads the app and wants to contribute, how can they do so, Peter? If they wanted to have a suggestion, they wanted to send some content your way, how would be best to get in contact with you?
They can do it in lots of different ways. They can contact us through the website. So there is obviously our details are on there. People can actually contribute to the website as it stands. If there are any people out there that are planning events in the spring or summer, you can create an account on the website, and you can actually put your details of your event straight into our calendar. So people can do that directly. They can email us at portsmouth@aboutmyarea.co.uk. If they've got any suggestions, there is a messaging service again built within the app. So people do send us messages and contribute. They can drop us a message through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. We're very open and approachable and contactable in lots of different ways. It's very easy to get in touch. And that's what we're really hoping for, is that we do get that level of response once people feel confident they can get out and get active and involved and engaged.
Indeed. And the only other final question for me is, Peter, remind me of the date again that you're launching.
It's due to be in the app stores from Saturday, the 27th of March, so a week on Saturday. So we're just sort of getting everything in place for that to happen. And then our promotional campaign will start from really the 29th with the posters, etc. But it will be downloadable from the 27th.
Brilliant. Exciting stuff.
Yeah. We really can't wait. We spent so long sort of preparing it and developing it that we just want it to be out there now and for people to have a go and see what they think.
Oh, agreed. Well, it's been wonderful to have you on the podcast, Peter. Thank you so much for joining us on the virtual sofa and to have a chin lag. It's been good to catch up.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you for this opportunity. We really do appreciate it.
No, pleasure.
Hopefully we can do it again in the future.
Indeed.
Without laptops. Actually do it in person.
That would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah. It'd be nice to be back in that world again.
It will be. It'll be very soon. But no, thank you so much, Peter. We wish you all the best for the launch, and we'll post all the contact details in the description of the episode below. And we wish you and the family all the best for your future endeavours.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Cheers, Peter. All the best.
Bye-bye.
And that was Peter from Island City Living / About My Area Portsmouth. And it sounds like he's got some exciting stuff in the pipeline.
Yeah, another really good conversation, Dan. I think we keep on going back to it, but if anyone hasn't heard the previous episode, look, we always set out in our most anticipated, I think a bit last year, but definitely this year, where we still want to do more kind of conversations about local creatives in Portsmouth. And, I'm really enjoying it. And it's great to hear. I connected with Peter, I guess, in the autumn last year, but so much has changed, and the world is a different place, and he's clearly pushing ahead. And I think what resonated with me the most, Dan, was I think there is a wave of optimism, and what with the good weather and hopefully returning to some kind of normality, whatever that ends up looking like, I think that'd be a really good way for them to use their platforms and to develop. So, I'm really excited for what they can do and achieve, because I think there's definitely a place required for Portsmouth and perhaps those who visit to use their media.
I do have a short story. It's not amazing, but the person that he mentioned that he bought About My Area Portsmouth from, Hayley Story, I used to serve her in my little corner shop when I was a young rogue teenager working a college job. Really nice lady, and I think it's gone onto good hands again.
Small world.
It is a small world. She probably would remember me, to be fair, and I don't know whether she'll listen to this episode like, oh, I remember Dan from that spa shop on the corner of Chatsworth Avenue. Probably won't happen, but a long time ago now. I was there between 2003 to 2007, but who knows?
You're quite memorable, Dan. You're quite memorable. Put yourself down.
Got older, more facial hair, older, grumpier.
And become an alcoholic.
Yes.
But hey, that happens with age. So on that sombering note, what have we got coming up in the next couple of weeks, Dan? We've got some episodes in the pipeline, haven't we?
We do. We're going to be covering Cobra Kai. All we're going to want to talk about is your favourite characters, favourite fight scenes, favourite character development, what you're looking forward to in the future. Looking forward to that episode, actually, because we've had some good response. Yeah. What else are we going to do? Well, we've had a bit of a backlog, haven't we, with all these guests on the show, Alex?
Well, we've got the Falcon and Winter Soldier. So at the time of release, it's probably the second episode, and we're going to cover it in two parts, aren't we? So the Disney Plus Marvel Cinematic Universe, the second outing, of course, with WandaVision finishing just a couple of weeks ago now. This is another streaming show, so we're going to be covering that probably in another week's time. Yeah, be good.
I think we've teased it. We're going to do who would we recast in a TV series or a film? So get involved with that one. It's been on the socials a little bit, but not too much. And I've been talking to Brad from Strong Island Recordings, as I mentioned to Peter earlier. And funnily enough, we actually had to cancel his episode last year because of COVID. But he's still up for coming on.
That's good, because we were going to see him face to face, and a lot of the guys we're speaking to. So it's nice to hear that we can spend some time, and there may be an artist or two that I've reached out to that I can't confirm or deny, but they may be on the show too. So we've got plenty to look forward to in the coming weeks, and that actually makes up a couple of months, which is really exciting stuff. But look, that's what we've got. But if any of our listeners, Dan, have any kind of recommendations or they want something specific, how can they get in contact with us?
Well, we are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at OnTheTopicPod, or we've got Gmail, which is at OnTheTopicPodcast@gmail.com. Forget the at bit. I don't know why I put that on there. Thinking social media. And, of course, we've got Anchor, where you can leave us a voice message, be a part of the show. A bit like my half Claire for WandaVision Part 3. She got involved on that. Asked a very good question.
Yeah, all you need to do is click on the link in the description below, or on our socials. I think we do a Monday socials, don't we, Dan, where we share the details?
Hashtag Voice Message Monday.
That's it, Voice Message Monday. So all you've got to do is click on the link below. That will then allow you to use your device's microphone, and you can be directly imported into the show. So get involved, get in contact. Let us know if there's something you want us to cover off, or if you have any thoughts or questions on any of our previous episodes before, then get in contact and give us a shout.
Indeed.
But for, I guess, another week, Dan, I've been Alex.
And we're coming to you from the only island city on the UK. I've been Dan.
And we'll see you next time.